was the origin of the Genesis Directors Program at the Young Vic? How did the program come about?
Well, when I started running the Young Vic, there was not much artistic program. We had to rebuild the theatre. I came up with this idea, which was that the Royal Court was focusing very strongly on writers, as following them were most other London theatres. So I thought, okay, we'll do directors. I thought it should be a theatre doing the best possible productions. But our way in, our door into that world that I wanted to create, I thought could be through directing. And I proposed a version of that to John Szynski.
What do you think swung it? What do you think was do you remember what was the thing that made John go, okay, yeah, that's it,
Well, I think one of the things was that I persisted.
You wouldn't leave him alone.
Was that he realised I was serious about it as an idea. I wasn't just chasing money. It was an idea that I felt could have strength. So all of this means that you were part of the Genesis Directors Program from day one, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I went on a journey from being a participant in the program to then ending up becoming the Genesis Fellow. And it was you, me, and Sue Emma sitting around figuring out what the program should be. And some of the most formative experiences I had as the Genesis Fellow was when I was running workshops for productions that I was preparing. We would always have a crew of young directors in the room. It was brilliant because they could act the play out, they could get involved in the staging of it, but it meant that they were in the room learning at exactly the same time, in exactly the same moment that I was learning. You know, which is, I think, an important thing about mentorship.
So Jack, as the very first writer to have a play premiered at the Royal Court that benefited from a Genesis lab, what did the journey of bringing the shitheads to the stage feel like from the inside?
From the inside, it felt astonishing. It felt very unlike anything I've ever experienced. Because also it's my first play, first time I've done any sort of show like that. Yeah, it's been thrilling.
When I think back to that first Genesis lab, because the Shitheads has a huge amount of theatrical ambition in it.
Yeah.
And going into that first Genesis laboratory week thinking, I don't know how we're going to do any of this. It was one of the quickest weeks, I suppose, I've done where the play told you what was needed from the staging, and being able to have that resource in that room of those people that could then adapt and change as we went through was kind of exhilarating. And you joke about having written a play that is sort of unstageable, but actually that was the joy of it.
Yeah.
I think so many theatres ask writers to, you know, send us your most ambitious and bold idea, but then don't have the resource to be able to really explore what it means to bring that idea to the stage. And that's why these labs are actually so valuable, because it gives us the space and time and resource to look at those incredibly, epically imaginative pieces of work and go, how are we actually going to realise this? What does this look like to bring this to the stage in the most thrilling way possible? We really wanted to try and actually put on stage visually the story that you had written.
I'm just really lucky to have that, really, aren't I? Because it is.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, I've been let the records. I'm very, very lucky.
So how did the partnership between the Genesis Foundation and the RA come about?
So I first met John when I was keeper of the Royal Academy Schools, and I was awarded the Genesis Prize, which is for mentors looking after the next generation. And I became very aware of John's interest in growing and nurturing the next generation. And then we stayed in touch, particularly during the difficulties of COVID, and worked together on one project. And then this idea came up as a way of building stronger curatorial roots. And we had lots of conversations about what did we want it to mean, both for us as an organisation and for the future curators, so that it would work for both sides, and I think it genuinely has. When you first applied for the Genesis Future Curators programme, had you got any idea what it would offer you? What did you imagine it would be like?
Yeah, I didn't imagine I'd be so involved in the curatorial team at the RA. It was a really nice progression from like shadowing to then like being able to learn about the institution and get my head around temporary exhibition making to actually just being like a key member of the team, being involved in projects from installation to meeting external curators, being involved in all stages really. So I could never have imagined it was such an involved experience.
You described the fact that the choice of director sometimes comes first and then the play is matched to it. That there's a sense of how a long ongoing relationship is what creates the best work on stage. And that's how I really felt about the work that we both did and that you, to some degree, taught me how to do, which was working on other people's productions. So, you know, you'd have done this hundreds of times. I did this a lot of times as the Genesis Fellow as well. Someone else will be putting a show on at the Young Vic, and as the artistic team, as the management, you want to help them, you want to support them. But the thing that I always thought was the most important thing about that is the time that you invest in the relationship with the people way before rehearsals start, way before previews, way before that director or that creative team is under pressure, you know, as it was building up to press night.
The metaphor that was useful to me was friendship. It's friendship. I'm working with friends. And if I don't think that you can be my friend, then I don't know how to work with you.
I'm smiling because I remember another metaphor you used.
Go on, what's that?
You said about going to the sexual health clinic.
I don't remember this one.
I think the idea...
Keep this one in.
I'm sure, no, I'm sure the idea is, but it's true,
I don't remember.
maybe, that, you know, when you're directing a show, especially when you get down the business end of it, when you're in previews, you feel very exposed, right? But there's it's the idea that you have to say, hey, look, this is my embarrassing thing that I'm ashamed of.
I see. That is a good analogy. I mean, from the point of view of the sexual health worker, it's like, I know this is difficult for you, but I've seen it 100. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all I do all day.
Yeah, yeah.
Being able to work in the way we're describing was tremendously enhanced by the support we got from Genesis, because John really understood that creating something of value in art is difficult.
And it takes time as well.
And
the time is sort of the most valuable commodity. And that's, I feel, one of the many things that the Genesis Foundation understands really well, that the most important thing is relationships. And the most important thing is relationships developing over time.
How has it felt to you putting on your new play, and sort of how have you found working together on this and going through that process sort of in lockstep?
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say the phrase "hold your nerve" more in my life. Hold your nerve would be the T-shirt of putting on a show. I found it amazing, really. I don't think I could have asked for more support. Mostly, I feel like the support's come from being treated like an equal artist, which has been such a huge deal for me.
And all the conversations around the production, like you've been published by Fyffe as part of this,
Yes,
which is obviously a huge landmark for any writer.
Yeah, enormous for me as well. Yeah, it's been a huge dream for years. Yeah. It's been fantastic. I got signed by an agent as well. That's come solely from interest in this play.
I mean, there's like a whole generation of directors that came through with you as the boss, you as the mentor, you as the person who gave people like me and lots of other people incredible opportunities. You must feel that a bit, right?
I don't sit around thinking about it. I enjoy the fact, I think that's the right verb, that people who are part of the Genesis Directors Program over the years have gone on to do similar jobs to the job I was doing. I mean, there's Rufus Norris at the National. Indu Rumasinga was an associate and part of the program in the early days. Daniel Evans, now half of the CEO team at the Royal Shakespeare Company, did his first ever production with us, as did
It was a
Tim
Peter Gill
Sheedy.
play, wasn't it?
It was a Peter Gill play.
Oh, yeah.
He'd never directed it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Tim Sheedy, now running the Donmar up the Regent's Park, did his first ever production with us.
Yeah.
Mike Longhurst,
was
thank you. Michael Longhurst,
was my assistant on Respectful Wedding.
who ran the Donmar for a period of time.
Yeah.
Did either his first or very, very early production. I mean, I'm just talking about Matthew Zier running touring theatre.
Nancy Medina,
at Bristol.
Yeah.
Joe Murphy, who was running the Sherman in Cardiff and is now running Birmingham, I think. He was part of the program very, very early on, and they're more all over the place.
One of the great things for me about the relationship with the Genesis Directors Program is that it's kind of still going. I mean, like the relationships I formed with John and with Harriet are ongoing. You know, last year I was really fortunate to be the recipient of the Genesis Foundation Prize, and that was to continue doing exactly the kind of work that we were doing at the Young Vic, working with a group of young directors who were learning alongside me as I was making my first film, but also working with them with me as their mentor in the same way that you mentored me. So the great thing about it is the, our time on the program at the Young Vic may be over, but the relationships continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite powerful.
So I finished my 2-year placement at the Royal Academy, and I felt like a key member of the team, being involved in so many projects. And with being such a small team, it just happened that an assistant curator role became available. I'm doing similar tasks to what I was doing before, but I can do them with confidence in my abilities and what I'm doing. I also have more responsibilities, so it's posing new challenges for me. So I think it was actually a really perfect next career step, and also gave me the opportunity as well for the next Genesis Future Curator to be a mentor to them too, and also guide their development.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it feels very full circle moment for me. So yeah. Has anything about the program really surprised you?
Ooh. I don't think anything surprised me, but I really enjoyed, over the period of that 2 years, we had occasional catch-ups, and it was really rewarding for me to watch you both grow as time passed and you experienced different parts of the Royal Academy.
Yeah.
So that was the most rewarding part of it for me.
I think looking back to myself 2 years ago, I feel like I'm just completely different person in the best way. In the best way.
I think you're still essential, Natasha, but you've gained a huge amount of experience.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I found myself more at the RA, which is really
and I think
special
it
for
will
me.
probably stay with you as your career progresses, and you'll reflect probably on different experiences and take things from them as your career grows.
Yeah, definitely. And if this program succeeds in the way that you hope, which I feel like it has, but what will be different for the Royal Academy and also for the wider curatorial sector?
Well, I hope that our future curators will go out into the world and take elements that they've learned at the Royal Academy and carry them with them throughout their careers and move and change other organisations. Because I think the life of a curator is going to probably be quite different in the future, because I think the exhibition model is probably going to change. Audiences are changing. What audiences want from exhibitions is changing. So it's your generation.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You've talked about the Genesis Foundation having a knack for being there at the beginning of things. Why is being there at the beginning, at the fragile formative stage of an idea, important?
I think it's the most essential part to be around for. It's really wonderful when you've got a great show and everyone wants to come and give you further support for it because, isn't it wonderful? But actually, the truth is what you really need, and they're really, really rare to find, is those individuals, those trusts and foundations and those supporters who are willing to be there at the genesis, of something when it's in its formative stage and everybody is taking that leap of faith with those artists. That is so rare to find, but it is the thing that makes the biggest difference. And artists never forget who was there right at the beginning when they had nothing to offer, offering them support and having real trust and confidence in their vision. And it's the best part about this job, is finding something brand new and nurturing it into something extraordinary. It takes far more confidence, far more faith to do it early. And for me as an artistic director, that's where you start to find a whole new generation of artists.